I think if one puts Trump's Middle East policies in historical context, what is immediately apparent is the degree of continuity in his policies. So, for example, since World War II, the U.S. has regarded the Middle East as an essential area for its economic interests and for its strategic interests. The emphasis has been mainly on Saudi Arabia in public awareness. But it was not only Saudi Arabia. With the creation of Israel in 1948, the U.S. military very quickly concluded that this new state could be useful for the protection of U.S. strategic interests. What were those interests? So at the time, it was primarily oil, access to Middle East oil in Saudi Arabia, in the Gulf, Iran. When one thinks of the present-day policies, it's precisely the same countries that reappear: Israel and Palestine, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. Iran continues to be named now as the enemy. If one looks at the brief history of that, in 1953, the U.S. was involved in a coup to bring down Mohammad Mossadegh, the prime minister. 1979, there was a revolution. The U.S. has continued to regard Iran as a danger. Why? Because of its regional influence. Why should that be dangerous? Because the fear is that support for opposition groups within many countries that are authoritarian might upset the balance on which the U.S. relies. So that's a general picture. I would like to say something on the Israel-Palestine question because at the present time there's much emphasis on the Kushner plan, the Kushner deal. If you open up the Kushner deal, it is of course catastrophic for the Palestinians because it leaves them with something like eventually 12% control of what was historic Palestine. But again, put in more general terms, the Kushner deal simply represents continuity, if you want, with a vengeance. So Trump, we know, supports the move of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, supports Israel control over the Golan. What does this mean? It means that Trump supports Israeli settlements, the expansion of Israeli settlements. But every administration, Republican and Democratic, have in fact supported Israeli settlements. The U.S. arms and economic aid to Israel has regularly increased under both administrations, both kinds of administrations, for the same reason. That is to say, an appreciation that Israel can be useful to the U.S., as indeed it has been.